Hi ladies, this is Diane Tuggle from the Happy Scrapbooker, and today we're going to be making a beautiful easel card for Christmas. It folds flat to mail, and then there is a fold in the card base, and it props up on a little gold stopper. So it's got a lot of glimmer and a lot of shine, and we're going to add a little bit more gold to the next one that we make. I'm going to show you the dies, the products that we're going to use. So we're going to be using this beautiful big branch die, and it's in Christmas greenery. This is really worth having just for that die. But that set is really pretty too. So I cut this out of glimmer paper. This is last year's glimmer paper that went with the beautiful zinnias, I think it was. There was a beautiful green and a purple and a white, I believe. So this is the green from the zinnias. And then from Delicate Pines, we're going to be using a few dies. We're using this die to cut these little branches right here, and that's out of the glimmer paper. And we're using this die to cut these green flowers out of the glimmer paper. And then we are using this little branch die. Let me see if I can get these guys out of here. I cut this out of the green glimmer paper also, and there are 3 of them in that set, 3 of these little dies, so you get this. We'll go ahead and take those out of there. There's 2, and 1 more. So that's those 3. I'll stick them there, there, and there so I don't mix them up. So like I said, there's 3 of these little bow dies, pine boughs. And then we're making some gold berry clusters out of a scrap of the gold metallic paper. And I love this little die because it cuts 3 of them at one time, and there are clusters of 3. So then on the front of the card, I had this, it's an old Sizzix die, but you could use any banner die you have to put that right there. And then from the bauble blooms, we're going to be using the bauble or ornament and the bauble topper, which is really pretty. It's got a lot of detail to it. So I'm going to put these back over here to the side. We are also going to be stamping Joyous Wishes to You and Yours and Merry Christmas from this. So we'll put them over there. And then we are also using the perennial postage dies. And so I cut one. That's what the perennial postage dies look like. This large one out of gold is 4.5 by 3 1/4. And then this smaller one out of soft seafoam is 2 by 2 3/4. So, and there's my little banner. I've got a whole bunch of these little bauble toppers. I don't need that many. And I've got several of the baubles. So I'll tell you the other pieces that you're going to need. You're going to need a piece of gold metallic paper, and this is 1.5 by 3 1/4, and that's your stopper. And then you need a piece of gold metallic paper that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then you're going to use that die to cut that one. So that's your gold metallic. And got a little scrap of glimmer paper sitting there. This paper is from Delicate Pines. It has some beautiful colors. That's the pretty peacock. But I love these colors, really rich on a dark, dark background. I think that is called Secret Sea, or it could be black, either one. It is a very dark color, and then the lighter old olive and a little red and some pretty peacock and garden green. I love this paper. So that piece is 4 by 5 1/4, and it layers on that big gold one. And then this piece is 4 1/4 by 3, and it layers on this die cut one. So then you're going to need another piece for the inside of the card, and this is what the back of it looks like, but I love this color green. So this is 4 by 5 1/4 also. You're going to need a card base. It's going to be 4 1/4 wide by 11 inches long. It's scored at 5 1/2 and 2 3/4. That was my little dog. What are you doing, Taco? Taco. Taco, Taco. Don't you go barking. Hey. Go back to your napping. Then you're going to need a card front that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it gets attached onto the easel front of the card, like so. So I know it's kind of dark, but as soon as we get our layers on there, you'll be able to see that better. Let me have a seat and start gluing things together. So let's put our inside of our card together. And I'm going to put the lighter color of green toward the bottom. So we're just going to glue this on. And I forgot to tell you that other glimmer paper that I'm using is current. It's a Secret Sea and what is the color ink? Blueberry Bushel, I believe. They're these right here. They are current, and they are in the glimmer paper called Peaceful Garden. So there's that. Okay, we're going to do our inside of our card. So I'm going to open my ink pad and go ahead and stamp that. And stamp the little banner too. So I'm using Blueberry Bushel ink. I'm fighting with this ink pad all day long. I have a brand new light pink shirt on, and right on my front of my shirt is a big blob of blue ink. But I know it's going to wash out. But it's brand new and clean. I'm so klutzy. Okay, we're stamping Joyous Wishes to You and Yours. I'm going to put that on the thing. And then we are stamping the Merry Christmas on the banner. Okay, I'll put those aside, close up this ink pad. And I'm going to wipe my fingers clean of ink too, because if I don't, it'll be everywhere. So I've been missing in action for the last 3 weeks. I haven't made any videos. I haven't really done much. And there's a lot going on. I lost my best friend of 45 years to ALS. And that really set me back a little bit. Took the joy out of everyday life, I tell you. And then my little dog got sick and started having seizures. My little Sadie. She's a little blonde colored Shih Tzu, and she's 10 years old. And I mean, she was having them like clockwork. and it was scary. And when they have a seizure, their body just contorts in every direction, and they howl. They pee themselves. It was just awful. And I was lucky I have a really good vet that got me in first thing on Monday morning, because you know these things always happen on the weekend. And she's on seizure medication, a liquid, twice a day, and it is working. And then I also did some research and found out that MCT oil, organic and made for humans, is a way to control seizures. And as soon as I added that to her food, I saw the biggest difference in her. I hadn't realized. I thought, you know, she's 10 years old, and she's not playing as much, and she's not as happy. I'm going to put this right in. I'm going to put it up here a little bit. That's your greeting. I glued down one of those little sprigs. So she gets really good food, but I am very dyslexic, and I read everything backwards. And I thought I knew what I was doing, and I was not giving that dog enough food. And I was measuring it and everything, and I wasn't giving her enough food. I'm going to stick this right here. It doesn't call for it, but I think it's going to add something. Something. It's a little strip I can't throw away. So the dog had gone from 11 pounds down to 8 pounds in her weight. She was literally starving. And you can't see that with all that hair on there and everything that she has. So it broke my heart that I was doing that to her. I started giving her the correct amount of food and putting the MCT oil on her food once a day and giving her her medicine twice a day. And so far, she's happy, playing, barking. She hadn't played in probably well over a year. She's picking up toys and playing with them. And sleeping better, everything better. So that was going on. And then this one kind of caught up with me last winter. We had really bad ice here in West Virginia, and it got in the gutters and the downspouts, and it froze. And it did some damage to one of my rooms upstairs. The drywall around the window was bubbled up and everything. So I fixed that, and I painted that. And unbeknownst to me, it also crawled up under the 45-year shingles that we have on our house. And it's one of the reasons we bought our house, because they're guaranteed to last that long. And we haven't been here about 13 years. I know you don't want to hear this, but we have a couple, 2-3 leaks we're just starting to notice. And it's taken this long for it to work its way, for the water to work its way to the living room and the bedroom and the sunroom. Whew. So now we have to get a new roof. So that's been going on. So anyway, I won't tell you any more of my sad stories. There's more, but I'm not going to tell you. But I am getting a new stove and a microwave tomorrow morning. That's one good thing. Well, that's a couple of good things. And I'm very grateful to be able to do all this. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put our stopper down. We put our inside of our card. Thanks for listening to my little tales, because I'm very happy and healthy and lucky, and I have my husband, and I shouldn't complain about a thing. There we go. Okay, now we're going to put one of these little florets or flowers, or it kind of could be a, what do you call, poinsettia. I'm going to glue that down on there. Try to center it. You don't want to smear the glue on gold. Hold that in place a minute. Okay, there's our card base. I'm going to put that aside and work on the front. So on the front, we've got this very narrow border around the gold in black. You can tell on this one I didn't put the gold, but I just thought it was too dark, so I added gold this go around. I'm going to lose my voice today. Probably because I told you that story. Oh, well. Okay, put this down. Okay, now we're going to put this real pretty, what is that paper called? Delicate Pines, I think. Let me look at the back of the package. It is called Elegant Pine Snowflakes is what it's called. Elegant Pine Snowflakes. So this is going to go on next. Stay there. And this will have just a little bit of gold around it, just the right amount. Okay, so now we have this piece, and I'm not centering it. I'm kind of, maybe I should center it this time. No, I think I'm going to bring it down. I'm not centering this. This is the front of the card, and I'm bringing the gold toward the bottom, leaving a small edge of it. I know it's a lot of layers here, and I could have gutted, and actually I should have gutted that big gold piece and just cut this right out of it. Save some of that gold paper, because paper is pricey, especially the specialty papers. So then there's this piece that's going on next. Okay, and we're gonna put that. Oh, I like it, I like it. Okay, let's glue the baubles together. So for the baubles, I have the Secret Sea, which is the darker one, and the Blueberry Bushel, which is the lighter one. And we're going to glue these toppers right on there, and because it's specialty paper onto glitter paper, you're going to have to give it a minute to dry. I could use tear tape, but my glue's right here. Okay, there's those. Now let's decorate our ornaments. This right here is a little branch that's going right on there. I don't know, maybe not, because that's got to go there. I don't know. I kind of like it. I'll decide in a minute. Okay, this branch goes across this whole panel, and it's got a little tiny end right there. I'm just going to cut that off because it's going to stick out and catch in the... So there we go. We're going to glue that down. And I'm just putting a little glue right on the back of this glitter paper. And we're coming down a little bit. Okay. Okay, we don't need those anymore. Let's decorate our baubles. So on this blue one, I'm going to put some mini dimensionals, if I can find them. There they are. And pop this up. So one in the middle. And one on each petal. Okay. Take these little, now these have adhesive on them already, but I'm going to put a little dab of wet glue right over top of them. And put this, this guy. Right in the center. And give that a minute to set up. In fact, I'm going to stick a block right on top of it. Okay, let's decorate these. This one, I'm going to crisscross the little bough branches. So I'm going to run glue there, glue it up in the middle, glue down the branch. So you see it has a little circle in the middle. And we're going to start it one straight up and down. And that glue will dry clear. So do another one. And we're going to crisscross it. And another one. And crisscross that. Okay, I'm gonna put that down. Okay. Now, I have these little embellishments called faceted snowflakes. I'm going to use the clear one. Okay, and I'm going to stick one right in the middle of that flower. So see how pretty those are? On this little bauble, we're going to put some gold berries in the middle. So we're just going to dab a little glue right there. Put the gold berries. Okay. Alrighty then. We're going to go ahead and put these in place. So this one is going to be toward the bottom. And I'm going to glue it down flat. So it goes over the edge of that border. put a little glue up there too. And it looks like it's hanging from the bow. So this one, we're going to pop it up, and we're going to bring it up a little higher in the bow. And we're going to also put this little branch in here. I think it needs it. It needs a little branch right there. Just like the original. Needs some more color. So we'll put that right there. A minute to stick. Okay, now we're going to put this up high. And we're going to put a lot of dimensionals on the back. So I'm using up the edges here. And so my friend Marianne that passed away, she was like falling a lot and kind of klutzy for over a year. And then she got where she couldn't talk, and her face looked like she had a stroke. And I mean, they were going to doctors trying to find answers. And she couldn't talk on the phone because she couldn't talk. And then finally they diagnosed her with ALS, and she was home not doing so hot. Her son did come and stay with her from Florida and helped. But then she died in 2 months' time from getting the diagnosis. It was very sad and very sudden. Okay, there's that. Now we need to put our Merry Christmas on here. I need to pop that up. She was such a Christian lady. Okay, we're going to put this right here over that tip. And now we are going to add this on here. Oops, I forgot one of my gems. Let me get one of my gems and put it on there. I'm going to use the darker green this time so it coordinates, stands out a little bit. So there's this, so I need to glue just right here. An easel card is a really easy fun fold, but it really is dramatic. And beautiful when the receiver gets it. Plus it's easy to mail. Okay, by gluing these two together, I'm going to lay it flat and glue them. Put a couple okay, I think we have finished our card. So here's how it comes in the mail. I love the gold on here. It really adds a lot. And then it opens up and it pops up against that little stopper. If you ever do get a little glue on the gold, just use your little glue eraser So there we go. I wonder if I should put some little gold thread up here and tie a little bow maybe. Would it be too much? Here's the first one with black borders. And this is the gold borders. I love both of them. This one I did put it up a little higher, but my branch is higher too. So I don't know which one I like better, but thank you for watching, ladies. I will have the measurements and the supplies in the description box, and a link to my shopping, and a link to my Facebook page. And I really appreciate. Do I need to put that on there? I'm trying to decide. If I do, I might want more than one. Where are my berries? Do I just have... I do have these gold sequins also, but I don't think I want to add a third. I'm distracted. Maybe I'll put it right there. I think I will. I'm not even using the one that I just finished. I'm just putting berries right here. There we go. So, which one do you like better? I hope that you'll try this design out. Like I said, it's a very elegant and easy pattern, fun fold pattern to make. So thank you for watching so much. I appreciate it. Have a great day.